Hey guys, it's Ted Boward. Welcome back to the TED Show. You know what today is. It's Tuesday. So that means it's Top of Mind Tuesdays with the one and only database guru, Yvonne Sandoval. How you doing, Yvonne? What's going on?
I am doing well. Thank you so much. Glad
Good.
to be here.
Very glad to be here. I love these topics. People stop me all the time and say, I loved what you guys shared. So somebody's paying attention out there in Facebook world land. All right. So we before we take a deep dive, obviously, into this week's topic, tell us a little bit about you for those people who live under a rock.
Oh, goodness. Well, get under the rock. It's time to peek your head out. We've got spring and it's beautiful out.
Yes.
So I'm Yvonne, Leverage 365. My business is for realtors only. I work with them to help them achieve top of mind status with their database of contacts. And we're all talking about today in this show is how to be top of mind. So I'm going to give you the insight of what I use in my business for my realtor clients. And hopefully you'll take away a nugget or two and you can implement it in your business.
Agreed. And I think a lot of people really undervalue their database, which is why what you do and how you help them create a campaign or a program is so important. And today, I like this topic because a lot of people will say to me, well, of course you have a database, Ted. You've done this, you've done that. You know everybody. Guys, you got to start somewhere. Do you think my database, I knew everybody back when I started? No.
He was born with it. It came in the hospital.
I don't know where it all came from, but I am very blessed. But I think a lot of people undervalue it. And so they think, well, I don't have a database, or I don't have a database that's worth it. And so they go out and try to find any other way except starting, for me, which would be 101, the very first place to start. So talk a little bit about this topic, and then I'll bring up the screen.
Sure. So this has been a topic that I've been dealing with since I started working with real estate agents, and it's really about mindset. So many of them think that they have to go and buy leads, they have to invest in Facebook ads, they have to try to throw. I actually had somebody. I said to them, "Hey, why don't you take your business cards and fly over Lake Eola, get a helicopter, like $25 down over the International Drive." And just throw your business cards out the window and let it sprinkle over Lake Eola, because all they're trying to do is attract strangers, and hopefully the strangers will contact them, and hopefully the strangers will list their house with them. So there's a lot of that hope is broke mentality in real estate, and I didn't make that up. Actually, a realtor gave that to me.
I love that.
Hope is broke. So we're talking today about what is a database, and don't tell me you don't have one, because everyone does. It's literally impossible unless you are living under a rock. And we know nobody who's in real estate living under a rock.
No way.
So, what is a database? And let's talk about that. A database is those people that you're going to market to, you're going to prospect to, you're going to reach out to, you're going to provide value to, and that over time you're going to cultivate relationships with. So that's really important for people to know, like, what is a database? And it's not a CRM, because how many times people say to me, oh, so you're a CRM company? Because for some reason the word database means a thing, like a tangible thing that they can purchase. And it's not that at all. It's a descripting word of a group of people. So that's where a database is. It's a group of people.
Yes. Oh, I love that.
Do all of this with. So my next slide is basically just letting you know that you need to gather that database for your real estate business. And every single book out there tells you, whether you're a new agent or an established agent, you start with personal contacts. Okay, I didn't make this up. I just read the books that you all have access to. I take them, I read them for you, and then I implement them in your business. So where would you gather your personal contacts? For some reason, I tell people this is where you got to gather them from. From your phone, from your email accounts, your Gmail, your Yahoo, your AOL. Oh my goodness, imagine. There are still people with AOL accounts. It's insane. Prior customers of any business you were in prior. doesn't mean prior customers of your real estate business. So, many of you come from different industries. You don't go from high school right into being a real estate agent. You went from high school, maybe went into a different, field. Maybe you would change fields entirely. One of my agents is a former physician's assistant. So she was in a different field, and a lot of schooling went into that. But she decided that wasn't for her anymore and went into real estate, and now she's super happy. Family contacts, co-workers, people you used to work with, Facebook, your friends on Facebook, LinkedIn. You can download from Facebook, even to this day, a limited list of people who have not opted out of putting their email address in their contact details. So
I didn't know you could still do that. I thought Facebook had cut that out. That's good to know.
They gave people the option to keep it private or make it public. So you will be able to garner some email addresses out of that Facebook download, which if you don't know how to do it, I had a call this morning and somebody didn't know how to do something. And they said, well, can you train me? And I wanted to say, and I'm going to say it now, Google it. If you don't know how to do something, Google it, because how the heck do you think I learned how to do it?
24/7, I'm Googling. I don't remember anything anymore.
If I don't know how to do something, people, I don't have gurus. I mean, I do, but I don't have gurus at my fingertips like you have me and Ted. But honestly, Google it if you don't know how to do it. So how do I download my contacts from Facebook? Google it.
Google it.
Or you can watch another one of our episodes. Of course, we'll bring that to you. Or attend one of our classes. LinkedIn as well. And Ted knows LinkedIn still does provide you that information.
Yes, they do.
So, and it's free. None of this costs any money. Open houses that you're doing, events that you're attending, and your website, of course, is supposed to be bringing you leads that need to be talked to. And we're going to go into a little bit more about that. And your networking events, not so much your networking with other real estate agents, although that helps too, because those are people who can refer you business, especially.
It helps so much.
Yeah, but we want you to build your personal contacts, and that is your database. So you can export all of these things that we spoke about as a CSV file or an Excel file, and then you import them into any platform, which means any CRM that that maybe your broker gave you, any free CRMs that are out there. Google it if you don't know which ones are free. HubSpot is one of them. There's plenty of them that are out there. They're very inexpensive. Or your free email platforms. There's plenty of them that are free that you can.
So many.
So it's a matter of exporting and importing. Export and import. So it sounds like you're with the the Corleone family, but right? What business are you in? I'm in the export business.
You know it.
You're a realtor. You're in the import-export business. Okay.
You are.
The Corleone family. Anyway, I cracked myself up.
So good. I do too. Good.
So, what are the elements of a database? Database are consisting of two things. In that database, you're going to have leads and you're going to have contacts, right? So leads are people who have shown some sort of interest in the services that you offer, but who haven't yet engaged with you in a two-way conversation with your business. So that's a lead. And basically, it's a stranger. So that's kind of where I need for you to understand the difference. In your database, you're going to have two different kinds of people, leads and contacts. So the contacts that you you've held a two-way conversation with them, and that two-way conversation could be through text, or it could be through phone, it could be through email, and you've established a value-based relationship with. I want you to get listen to that, value-based, not just.
Tell us, what does value-based relationship mean?
Meaning that you're exchanging information that helps the other person and they find value in it. So it's not as if, hey, I've got, you found a home and I'm going to help you, see that home, or I'm going to, come tell you more about the home. No, it's about value. So maybe you're telling them something about the current interest rate, or maybe you're providing them with a list of preferred vendors that so it brings them to a place where they see you as a resource. So plenty of you out there are exchanging information, but you're very narrow in that exchange. So you need to bring them, and I think it'd be a great idea, is give them a list of your resources in your business. So it's your lenders, your title companies, your inspectors, all of the people that you work with, provide that, and they're going to see you as, wow, this is a person who's going to be there for me, who I can see as a resource, not only now, but in the future. So that's
my favorite part of that is value-based, well, actually value and relationship. It's about the relationship.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. This is a relationship built business, which we'll get to in a moment. So, I'm going to just tell you that there are books written out there. Those books are there for a reason, and they're very, very well established. One of the books I use in my business is The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, which is pretty much, it's called the Red Book. You've probably heard that. And it's considered like the Bible of, and the guide and the blueprints and all of that of real estate for agents to build their business and build it with some kind of a system and process. So in the book, around the page 146 or so, they discuss in this database that you're going to have two categories of people. And these categories are Mets and non-Mets, or haven't Mets. So we're going to talk about the Mets. These are the people that are going to build your business, and it's going to build it exponentially. So these are people that you have met in person. That includes your family, friends, your doctor, your accountant, your mechanic, all these people, hairdresser. Oh my goodness, that's a fantastic person that should be in your database, because they know everything about what's going on in someone's life. Neighbors, of course, if you belong to groups, church groups, sports groups, alumni, all these kinds of things. I'm sorry, it's spelled wrong. These are the people who build your network. They're considered your Mets. They should be in your database. They are your database. Now, they also break it down into what's called your allied resources. So allied resources means the people that you know in a real estate related way. So like, loan officers, title reps, virtual assistant stagers. These are people that, are in your world as a real estate agent. They are your Mets. They're in your database. They could be referring you business. So you need to keep them top. They need to keep you top of mind. And we're going to go on to how that happens. Advocates are people who have an ongoing business relationship with you. They would provide you business in the future. Now, it doesn't mean business as in real estate. It just means an ongoing business relationship, meaning, hey, you buy your coffee from them at Starbucks. Okay, you see them at Target all the time. These are people that you having a relationship with. You're seeing them. Maybe it's a mom and pop down the block that you go to. These are people you have a business relationship with because you're having transactional business. It's a transactional relationship. You're not hanging out with them for coffee, but they're doing business with them. They're people who would also, if they know you're in real estate, they will be referring you business. And then core advocates are well-placed people, such as people that you know, or maybe have an association with. Maybe they're the mayor of a town. Maybe they are they sit on a board, a local board. Maybe they are a local business owner, and they could be referring you, because those people who are in leadership positions in the area in which you serve, they get to see a lot more people than you do because of their status in the community. So absolutely, these are the people who should be in your database.
That's so true.
Yeah. And then the other side of your database is the next slide, and those are the haven't mets. Okay, so the haven't mets are your leads. Those are the things that you are coming into through your maybe through a landing page, maybe you bought them. These are the things that have a lower value, and because these people do not know you. But basically, you can find them through the landing pages, maybe a targeted Facebook ad. And then, of course, there's the general public. People you do not know and people who do not know you, and they're total strangers. And we always know that is a new lead. New leads are starting from a blank piece of paper. They are on the scale of your database. They are at the lower end. They really represent, for most agents, about 20% to 10% of their entire business.
That's so interesting to me because I think a lot of people spend so much time focusing on, I'll take this off for a second, focusing on the haven't mets.
That's all they want.
And so I think people need to understand the difference. Your mets are like this gold that just keeps reproducing.
Yeah.
And your haven't mets, you're spending a lot of that gold on the haven't mets instead of spending it on the mets. It's a very interesting concept how people will spend so much money on, we'll talk about leads because that's in the title, right? Why you should never buy leads again. Leads, I get it. There's a place for it, but it should be only a little place, kind of like your financial advisor tells you, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Yeah. You have to have multiple baskets, but if you're not addressing or utilizing or properly keeping in touch with your database, the mets, you are missing out on so much of the pie. My opinion.
Absolutely. I've had agents tell me, and I'm going to tell the story. Pre-COVID, it was actually the week before COVID, and Ted knows this story. I was teaching a class, and it was the database class, and this individual had come up to me.
Oh, I love this.
And
full center. There you go.
I love this story because this is where people are not focusing, and they have all the eggs in one basket. So after class, we spoke about a one-on-one, and I said, so what's your plan? And this was like about a week before the COVID and the shutdown and everything. And he said, well, my plan is to door knock because I read in a book, a very famous, realtor he says, that's what you should do to build your business. So my goal is to knock on like 15,000 doors over, and I've got the math down. He had the math, and he was going to go to so many houses per day and over the course of a week and a month and blah, blah, blah. And that's my plan. So I said, we just had this database class. We just talked about utilizing the people from your prior world and things like that. When I dove a little deeper and I asked, how long have you been in real estate? 2 years. Okay, so you're about a little younger than me. Where were you prior to real estate 2 years ago? I worked for a major soft drink company, the biggest. And for 25 years. And I'm like, oh my God.
Database, baby, right there.
You must know so many people. And what does your wife do? Well, she's the East Coast representative for the largest retailer of female undergarments, which everyone knows what that is. So anyway, without naming names of companies, like the biggest, and he knew a lot of the models because he was able to go and to these runway shows. Well, those people, not in the database, none of these people. All we're going to do is we're going to door knock strangers.
Yep.
So that is not what any book I've ever read said, and I don't know any of my people I've been working with for 6 years that would atone to say that is what you should do.
Atone, I like it.
That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. I was like, okay, we'll do it. What happened a week later? Shut down. So,
yeah. So the whole world changed, which took away his one egg in the one basket.
So we're going to talk about not putting all your eggs in one basket, and people approach me, and for some reason I still get confusion out there. People think I do social media. I don't do social media. I do your database, which means every mode of communication that needs to happen in your business. I don't do just social media or social media as the primary focus. You need to be diversified. I think the stock market people, the brokers out there have always said diversify. So that is what we're doing. We're running a smart business here. The real estate business isn't about selling houses. It's about people. Your business is predicated on the people that you know. It is the foundation of your business as a real estate agent. So your business should be focused on this. Now, here we go again. This is research. This is information. This is things that I did not do. Others do it. People smarter than me, and we need to listen to those people. What I do, because I'm obviously, I need to go with what works. That's what Warren Buffett said, that he didn't invent a new way of buying and selling stock. All he did was read the books and implement them. So research has shown for every 12 people in that Met database, which we described what that means, that you market to consistently using multiple forms of communication over the course of 1 year, you can expect 2 pieces of business to occur. 1 repeat
Wow.
and 1 referral. So
Wow.
that's super important to understand that because these people know you, trust you, and hear from you consistently over different modes of communication, not just one egg, those people will convert to 2 pieces of business. Now,
Correct. And what's important about that really quick is that it's that piece of business. It doesn't say you're going to get that exact person. There's repeat.
right.
But those people also have a database. We miss out on the exponential touches we can make as we are touching our database, then they are touching their database with the information you're using to stay top of mind.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm going to show that math in a couple of seconds here. The haven't met portion of that database, remember we talked about new leads, strangers, throwing business cards out of helicopters. For every 50 people that you market to, at least about 12 times a year, that will generate about 1 sale. And that's actually very, I actually like to look at it about 100 people. It's about 100 to 1. But let's be super, optimistic. For every 50 people, you might get 1 piece of business. But it's going to take numerous touches, once per month, with consistency, and those people will have to learn to love you. So this is a long game. This is not about getting people to work with you today. And like you said, Ted, it's not just the people that you've met. It's going to be the people that they've met, which will be in a few seconds. I'll show you.
It's not. And I think it's so important that people realize just because you think your database is terrible, which I don't believe anybody who says that, you have something you're missing. Their database could be amazing. What if you have a cousin that happens to be a high producing real estate agent? I mean, there are so many people in your database, the boards you serve on, the events you go to, like Yvonne said. And then all of them have a database. It's not just yours. You have to go out and realize that exponentially we're going to be touching a lot more people.
I love that. And this is the other thing. So I'm so passionate about this is that I had a person that I also, I consult, and I had this person tell me that they don't have a database. Their database is from the north, up north, because they're from up north and they've only been in this area a few years. So they don't have a very good local database. And I'm like, excuse me, the word move is part of real estate. People move. They're not going to move, from Orlando to maybe from College Park to downtown. There are people moving from Massachusetts and New Jersey, right, New York, and they're making moves to this area. So if your database is luckily up north, you have a gold mine.
I agree.
We have thousands, and I've got the statistics the other day from NAR. We have thousands per day moving here. We have JetBlue talking about moving their headquarters from Queens, New York, to Orlando. That is the word on the street that came out about 2 weeks ago. And that if you're not understanding that if you're from the north, anywhere up north, and you don't see the value in your database, you are missing out. So your goal, if your goal is 100 transactions this year, which is a lot for some people, but for some maybe it's maybe a little low. But 100 transactions this year, you can absolutely do that by marketing to either 600 Mets or 5,000 haven't Mets. It's really up to you. So you know what? If you want to put all the eggs in the basket and you spend all that money on Facebook ads and buying leads and such, but we're talking about marketing, not just like buying a list and then hoping that these people will contact you because, I sent them an email once.
That's right.
I did a Facebook ad once. There's got to be consistency to everything. It takes time to build that kind of payback. And all the samples that we're showing here, if you wanted to mix them up, 120 Mets and 4,000 haven't Mets, these are the numbers you can mix and match. to get to where you need to be. But I'm going to show you, because you're saying, oh my God, I don't know, 600 Mets. So how the heck do I have that? Well, you do. And that's the next slide. And it's called Mets math. For some reason, the graphics a little weird there, but it's Mets math. That's my new math. Okay. So it's like core math. We're going to figure out a new way of looking at things, right?
Here we go.
So one Met, that person in your phone, is equal to 150 people. That one person. Because they have a sphere of themselves, of friends, family, neighbors, coworkers, allied resources, all of those things. They have that too. So when you speak to one person, you're not really just speaking to one person. You're speaking to about 150 or more. Because there's also the things like social media. If they repost your post, if they talk about you in their everyday conversations, just in real life. So 120 Mets equals, I'm sorry, I should say, 120 Mets. Let's say you had 120 people in your database. If we times that or multiply that by 150, that's 18,170 people just from your little tiny database of 120 people, which we all know everyone's phone has more than 120 people in it. And those are local people. I don't care where your database is located. If you're physically in Orlando and your database is in Wisconsin, don't tell me you don't have a database.
No, people want to move. They want to move here.
It's so crazy. And then I've had other people tell me, I had an agent tell me, well, this is great. I love this. I don't want to work with blue collar people. I only want to work with the wealthy. But I actually had that said to me. And I'm not going to tell, I'll tell you after the show. But I don't want to work with blue collar. I only want to work with the wealthy. And you know what? And she says, well, my database isn't wealthy. I said, you don't know 18,170 people or more because you don't know who they know.
That's correct.
The best story ever, just a quick story, is that when this is a gazillion years ago, but my friend's mother when she had her last son, she, had the baby in the hospital and you shared a room. She couldn't get a private room. She wasn't that wealthy. And the lady next to her was, a very nice woman. They wound up becoming friends. And believe it or not, it wound up being one of the Gettys for the oil of people.
Wow.
They didn't get a private room because that's just not who they are. And this woman had no clue she was making friends with a Getty.
That's so
got
cool.
Invited to the house, right, for the christening party, because both of their children were born obviously in the same day or so. And when she went to the home, it was palatial, and they had like little Mercedes for the kids to ride in,
Nice.
on the lawn. It was a Getty. Okay, so you don't know.
We don't know.
You can't tell by looking at somebody or saying, well, I only know low lives and I can't work with them. That's not how it works, people.
FYI, low lives in any book still need homes. Still need homes.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, your database will grow, and yes, when you start selling more luxury brand homes and luxury priced homes, what's going to happen is that if you do a good job and you cultivate that relationship, then yes, you'll expand your reach into where people who do maybe have that kind of money, because they associate with other people. But they also associate with people who are, work at Bloomingdale's, because that's where my friend's husband worked at Bloomingdale's. So, this is the thing. You really need to not have that mindset and just start and stop not doing something because of all of these challenges that you've already put up in front of you. So here you go. You have a database in the palm of your hand, literally. Export those contacts from all the sources that are available. Import into a platform. Remember, you're a Corleone. You're in the import-export business. And consistently communicate using multiple modes over the course of a year. Emails, postcards, Facebook, video, doing networking, all of the things that you need to do, face-to-face events. Your website needs to talk about you. It needs to be about you. So all of these modes, these are modes of communication. Make sure that they are laser focused to bring people value and get people to know you, get closer to you, be top of mind. And if you're not doing that with your different modes of communication, you need to start, because your database is the heart of your business.
Agreed. All right. So if people want to learn more about you, reach out to you, what's the best way?
GetLeverage365.com or Yvonne at GetLeverage365.com. Or you can also text me at 407-915-8000.
Perfect. All right. That was awesome, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Had lots of people commenting how much they loved it. Appreciate you. We'll see you next Tuesday. We're going to be doing it at a weird, and by weird, I mean a unique location next week, I believe.
I'm excited.
I'm very excited. So stay tuned for that. We're going to be remote, even remote.
Yeah.
We're all remote. So getleverage365.com. Thanks, Yvonne. We'll see you guys soon. Bye, everybody.